Welcome Super Souls to the Moon Magic Tarot channel. Thank you for joining me for today's reading. Now today we're asking a very specific question. Do you take action or not? Now this is a very big question, and it's the kind of thing that we face a lot in our lives. Sometimes we really feel compelled to take action, but we're not quite sure whether the timing is right or whether we should. Sometimes we're even not sure whether we should just walk away from something. So today we are asking your spirit team's guidance. Do you take action or not? And we're also going to be asking for extra guidance around whatever that answer is in each of the readings. So we're going to draw a card for each of the three readings that we're going to do to help to guide you in. This one is absolutely speaking to us already. Wow, look at that. I'm just going to show this to you. So we have the Four of Fire. That's reading number 1. Ooh, and both cards. Reading number 2, we have the Three of Water. And reading number 4, we have the Two of Water. Oh, did I say the Two of Water? That's the Three of Water. My apologies if I did. So we have the Four of Fire, the Three of Water, and the Two of Water. And I'm going to draw a rune and a charm as well for those of you that like that little bit of extra to guide you in. Your rune for reading number 1 is the rune of wholeness. Your rune for reading number 2 is the rune of openings. And your rune for reading number 3 is the rune of ice. Okay. And now we'll draw a charm. I hope that that's focusing. I'm just looking at my screen and wondering if that is very clear, but I hope it is. If not, we'll fiddle around with the camera and see what we can achieve. So our charms for reading number 1, we have the lizard. For reading number 2, we have a heart. It's a very beautiful heart as well. Very, very beautiful. And for reading number 3, we have the lucky horseshoe. Okay, so we are asking our spirit team today for advice and guidance. Do I take action now or not? And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Hopefully that's a little bit clearer. Super Souls, this is the time to tune in with your intuition. Now, think of the situation that you're in. Align yourself with that energy. Think about, exactly whether or not to take action or not, and just trust your intuition and lean into whichever reading or readings is really calling to you. You may want to try more than one. Sometimes more than one will leap out at you. So Super Souls, tons and tons and tons of love, and I will see you in just a moment in the readings. The timestamps are in the information box below, and they're also in the comments for phone users. Welcome, reading number 1. You've chosen the Four of Fire, the rune of wholeness, and the lizard. Now, we are asking your spirit team a very, very specific question. Do you take action or not? Now, this is really interesting because the rune of wholeness is actually the path you must follow. So it's almost like there's actually only one way to go. And of course, the Four of Fire is about taking aim. So what is really interesting, the lizard is actually about stepping into the dream time. So my feeling is that there probably is action required just from this card and this rune and this charm alone. But I'm not sure whether you should be taking action right now. So in answer to our question, do you take action or not, I suspect the answer is yes, you will need to take action, but not yet. Let's draw more tarot cards and see how that's, you know, what else we're shown basically here. So I'm going to position your primary card just here. Okay, let's draw, we'll draw some oracle cards before we dive into tarot. And I think I'm going to draw an Akashic tarot card as well. So both those two are coming out, and that one. We'll draw from the Akashic tarot. And the Art of Manifestation oracle cards as well. Super Souls, if you're new to my channel, I give away a pack of these cards every month and a free private reading. I'll let you know right at the end of the reading how to be in that prize draw if you wish to. Okay, so let's look at these, and then we're going to draw some more tarot cards as well. So first of all, we have Moonlight. We have Movement. Ah, this is lovely, and Coming to Life. So reading number one, the Coming to Life is really magnificent in this position because we're seeing a good outcome here. Coming to life is the emergence of something. It kind of says, look, something is happening in your life, something is moving forward, something is emerging. It's really, really, it's right. So whatever your situation, your spirit guides are saying, in terms of taking action, you will need to take action. You will need to move something forwards. And they're also giving you assurances that this is going to turn out favorably for you in some way, shape or form. But you do need to enter the dream time first. So if you have a look at this card, can you see in the moon there is an owl just here? You know, owls can see in the dark. You know, they can see what other people don't see. They see the blind side. You know, if most creatures, animals, human beings, unless you have very good night vision, even then we can't see everything. We can't see the fine details. So there's something about, there's something you need to see clearly before you take action. Lizard is a really interesting energy because lizard is not only enters the dream time, but lizard enters a space where outwardly we might look as though they are sleeping, but actually they are in a space of sort of like of knowing. It's almost like they enter a space of journeying, a meditative space where they might look as though they're asleep, but actually they're not asleep. And they all have already seen ahead of time, so they know that nothing will happen to them. They can sleep safely, they can rest safely, they can enter the dream time safely. They're not under threat because they have that level of awareness. So there's something you need to see, there's something that needs to become clear to you. I think as well, look, just here, it looks like an hourglass just here, the moonlight, just sitting next to her on the edge of this balustrade here. And I think, yeah, there is something, the timing isn't quite right. I believe you will need to take action in your situation, but the timing isn't quite right. You need to see something first, something that isn't immediately obvious to everybody. When you do and you move it forwards, it's going to emerge, it's going to happen. And it will be, I think, a very favourable outcome. Look at this, the two cards coming out in reverse. We have up in the air. I'm just going to show it to you the right way up first of all. Up in the air. Again, this means that something is not decided yet. There are still factors that are coming into play. Now, this is very interesting to have drawn this card, because when things are up in the air, it means that almost sort of, if you think about it, that karma is not set in stone, and that karmically, when we are moving through something, we're addressing something. If we are karmically, if something isn't set in stone, I'm just going to show you this card as well, Four of Keys, clearing the way. If something isn't set in stone, it's kind of like your karmic pathway has to mix with everybody else's karmic pathways. So something hasn't happened yet. Something else needs to take place. And when it does, you will then become aware of what it is you need to see in order to take action, and then it will move forwards. So something else needs to be shown to you, clearing the way. What we see here is the end goal here, lit up, this sort of like dream home in the woodland, and the couple sitting here, and there is a log here in the way. So something needs to be cleared out of the way. This card came out in reverse, and I don't read lots of cards in reverse because many of them were never traditionally meant to be read in reverse, but these cards are. And I think because this is in reverse, it is showing us that this is going to move forwards very quickly once something else has happened. But something else has to happen first. It's not even that you're not seeing something. It's not that you're not aware of something, that because it hasn't yet taken place. It's like something else has to take place before you can have the clarity that you need in order to move this forwards, and then there will be action to take. So this is really interesting. We have two cards: forgiveness of others, forgiveness of ourselves, and internal dialogue. Now what these cards are telling me are, I just want to say, I feel as though that you are, whatever your situation, I feel as if you are it's possibly been a bit tangled. So feeling like you have to take action. And the Four of Fire, it's like, it's fired you up. It may have pressed your buttons. It's something that you feel very passionate about, your circumstances and your situation. And I can really see that reading number one. You feel very passionate about what has taken place. And there is in many ways only one way to go, because it's like that's the right course of action. And I really, really get that. Forgiveness of others, forgiveness of ourselves is really interesting, because what these cards do is allow us to clear our own internal energy, so that when we then take action and move forwards, we do so in a really streamlined kind of way. So there's more than one thing that your spirit team are telling you here. On the one hand, something else is needing to take place karmically. Almost somebody else has to, something else will unfold, or someone else will take an action, and that will allow you to then see something clearly. And they are kind of saying as well, intuitively, you probably have an awareness. If you slow yourself down enough and you move yourself from the drama, step away from the actual situation, enter that dream time of the lizard, the moon time, enter the darkness, as it were, I think you'll probably intuitively sort of know what's actually going on here. But what will then happen is something will take place, and that will be a confirmation for you. And that confirmation will clear the way for you, so that you can then move this forwards, and it will move forwards. You can take aim, you can fire, and the outcome will be very, very favourable. Forgiveness of others. I will read you what these cards say, but this is almost like an underlying level of something within you. This is what I'm really hearing. Forgiveness of others. Forgiveness does not mean that something bad that happened to us was okay. Forgiveness means that we choose to move beyond the experience and to release any ongoing need for retribution. In doing so, we no longer need to keep the memory of what happened alive within us. This choice reinstates our entitlement to be in charge of our own lives, to take action in a streamlined way. Forgiveness of ourselves. When something goes wrong, even if the circumstances were out of our control or we did the very best that we could possibly do, we can still carry guilt after the event. The gift of guilt is to help us to learn and to develop conscience. And a really interesting card here, because when we, a conscience is really important. It's how we grow. If you feel bad about something, you won't do it again. But this feels for me, because this says, the gift of guilt isn't to carry around like a ball and chain. You know, so listen to the learning, forgive yourself for not being perfect, release any guilt today. You know, I feel like there's some internal, this is what the internal dialogue is saying as well. We all have an internal dialogue within our mind. It's like a constant stream of inner conversation. Is your dialogue kind and supportive and affirming, or is it critical and judgmental of both yourself and others? This card asks you to listen to your words, and if necessary, take steps to consciously change your language. I feel like there's been a toing and froing where you've felt as though you didn't respond well, or you know, when after the event you can, I don't know about you guys, but this is me, okay, I know that after the event I can always think of what I would have wanted to say, but I never can think about it at the time, in the moment. I think about it afterwards. It's like, God, I wish I'd said that, or you know, I wish I'd, you know, voice this or voice that. And then I ruminate and feel like I got it wrong, even if it was a challenging situation that had nothing really to do, it was instigated by someone else. It was not my fault and not my problem. But I still go over the situations where I feel like I didn't say what I wanted to. And I know I can really ruminate. I mean, it's a human thing, isn't it? So really, this is like a personal something that your spirit team is saying, look, you know, cut yourself some slack here, Super Soul. You know, you did the best you could do under the circumstances in the situation you were in. So just delete any anxiety about that, delete any concern, let go of that kind of fueling the retribution for others, because this is going to work out, okay? Something else is going to take place, and if you get still enough and stand back, intuitively you will know that. You will know that if someone, for example, has behaved badly in your situation, they'll either do it again, or something's going to come to light. The way is going to be cleared. So whatever your personal circumstances are, there's actually only one route to take here. Step away, look after yourself, and remove any emotional baggage around it. Step away from the drama. Something else is going to be shown to you, and then you will be able to take action. If you step into the dream time, you'll kind of almost be able to intuitively predict what's going to happen, because I think you'll see how that will emerge. I'm going to draw some more cards for you guys. I mean, I think the message is very, very clear in terms of, do you take action or not? But we will ask your spirit team if there's anything else they wish to add or show you in terms of how this might emerge. Knight of Discs is showing up. Two of Wands. Can we have any more specifics about what will take place and how this will emerge? Oh, this is nice. Feel this more yet. Okay, here we go. So we have the Knight of Discs, we have the Two of Wands, we have the Tower and the Ten of Discs. Okay. Bear with me, Super Souls. I'm still feeling like the cards are not really showing up that clearly. I'm just going to put a light on the screen and see whether that makes a difference. Let me just press the pause button. Okay, I don't know if that's any better, but let's try that. So we have then the Judgment card, the Emperor, the Tower, the Sun, and the Ten of Discs and the Princess of Cups. This is a lovely, lovely bit of, it's almost like an affirmation, I feel. What I'm going to say to you is, I think, you know, the Knight of Discs is a really steady energy. You know, as the nights go, the Knight of Discs is about kind of bringing in the harvest, but it's like steady progress. This is such an affirmation. This will come to you. The outcome is going to work, but just be steady in your process here. And I'm going to say, involve yourself in a level of self-care. You know, try not to be too emotionally wound up about this situation. the decision will become very clear to you, and karmically something else will take place that causes the timing to be perfect, and you know that the justice, the judgment will happen. I want to say, if any of you are involved in anything that could connect to any kind of aspect of legal stuff, again, take your time. The outcome will be favorable, but something more information needs to come in before this situation can be moved forwards. And what is interesting is the doorway, I think, will be opened. You know, the Two of Wands sitting above the Emperor. I think someone will literally bring some information, give some information to you, or hand you something, or someone will come along and not exactly take charge of the situation, but they will carry some aspect of responsibility for this, and it will open that doorway. So I almost feel as well that there will be some aspect of your situation, reading number one, where it will be guided by the actions of someone else. Someone else will, information will appear, or someone will give you the additional information, but someone in some way, it is as if something external will actually slightly take charge of the situation, so that it will become very clear as to which way to go, and you'll be able to take aim and fire. Again, the Tower, change is coming regardless, so there'll be a major shift. And the Sun is such a favourable outcome. There will be a fabulously positive outcome here. The Sun sitting here under the Tower. And look, we have the 10 of Discs. This is the card of abundance in every possible way. And the Princess of Cups beneath, which is very much a card of what I would say emotional satisfaction. Okay, so whatever your circumstances, I'd say, reading number one, that not only does something else need to happen, but someone will literally come forward and give you either a piece of information or something that you need in order for this to run smoothly. You can then take aim and fire. So reading number one, I think your spirit team have been amazing today. They really are honouring this aspect of your journey. Yes, so our question, do you take action now or not? You will, but not yet. I hope this is really giving you the information you need. Super Souls, I mentioned earlier, I give away a free private reading and a pack of these oracle cards. Now, it's a subscriber offer. If you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, I post readings for weekly guidance from Spirit every Sunday, and I also post these spontaneous timeless readings. I'm putting these into a timeless playlist, and a timeless playlist, and the information, I'll put a link, sorry, I'm waffling away, but the information, in the information box, I will put a link to the timeless readings playlist, because these are readings that you can connect to at any time, like a yes or a no answer, or how will this pan out, or can I trust this person? Those kind of readings that answer specific questions. So this is one of those spontaneous timeless readings. I'm connecting that playlist so that you can access, I'm just building that playlist so that you can access these kinds of readings whenever you need them. So Super Souls, reading number one, I wish you absolutely the best in this outcome, really, of the circumstances and situations that you are in. If you would like to be in that subscriber offer, subscribe. If you press the little bell icon, any of the videos I post will come into your stream, and if you add yourself to my email list, my subscriber email list, you're on it forever. My colleague draws the names out of a hat every month, and I post the winners after one of the Sunday readings. And yes, Super Souls, just thank you for joining me. I wish you every good luck in this journey. It's really clear to me the outcome will be really fortuitous for you. So just sending you all the love in the world. Welcome, reading number two. You have been drawn to the Three of Water, the Rune of Openings, and this beautiful heart. I hope I've got the lighting sorted out a little bit better so the camera is focusing now properly. So now this is really interesting, because just looking at the imagery in this card straight away, and we can see that she's actually looking backwards. which is really, really interesting. She's looking backwards, and she's in, I feel like she's in a state of transition in some way, shape or form. Now the Rune of Openings is really interesting because the Rune of Openings is also pointing in the same direction as her. The Rune of Openings means out of darkness into light. It's like finding clarity after a period of difficulty, or a period where we felt a bit foggy or a bit unable to know where we're going or what we're doing. And the heart is a beautiful confirmation of listening to your heart. So we're asking your spirit team, do you take action or not? You know, asking for very, very specific answers to a very specific situation in your world right now. So I'm going to draw some oracle cards first and see what we are shown. We use the Art of Manifestation too. Super Souls, I give away a pack of these cards every month, so I'll tell you about that at the end of the reading. Just shuffle again here. There we go. And I'm going to draw as well from the Akashic Tarot. Yes. Okay. Let's see what we are shown here. So, we have the card of home. Now this is really interesting because there's a clock in this card. And I always feel like that the clock tells us something about the timing around a situation. You have the card of goblins and you have the card of strength. This is very interesting. Okay, let's look at our manifestation oracle cards. Nurture, coming under the card of home. You have, it is safe to relax. And you have leadership. Okay, so we are asking a very specific question about your situation from your spirit team. Do you need to take action or not? Now, this is really interesting because primarily, excuse me, gosh, I don't know where that came from. Well, do you know, that is really interesting. We always listen to everything that happens in our readings. It's like I went to just take in a breath and it was almost as though I couldn't catch my breath. I choked on something, and yet I don't think there was anything there. It was like a deep inhale of breath. What is really coming through here is there's been a situation, I feel there has been something that has literally almost been choking you. Somebody or someone who hasn't behaved well. It's like a goblin or a demon or in a way they're quite childish, mischievous. Childish is a better word because mischievous can just be good fun. And I don't feel this has been good fun for you. You know, it's left you looking back. It's left you with regret or feeling that time was wasted, or, you know, that's the kind of feeling here. Now it's being suggested here, do you take action or not? You know, I think reading number 2, the action here is actually to retreat and to nurture yourself, to step away from the energy of people like this, to step away from, you know, you may have had some social connections with this person. And, you know, they may have been part of a group of people that you were involved in, some kind of activity. I feel that the action to take, interestingly enough, is actually to retreat, to come away. You're going to re-find your strength. You're going to become your own leader. We'll read these cards in a moment. There's something about these people that just didn't feel, I just want to say, it didn't feel nice. It didn't feel safe. It's got that flavour of, I just want to say, childishness. Of course, we must always remember that people who behave like children Look at this, we have the card of birth and the light of the world. This is lovely. Great stuff. Okay. People who behave like children are coming from a place of damage, but it's really hard to hold that compassion when people are behaving badly around you, okay? But I can really see that somebody, or even a group of people, for some of you, it's not just a person, it's like a little group of people, or, you know, that's sort of what I would call that sort of backstabby, bitchy kind of not such nice kind of stuff has been going on. Now, your spirit team are really, really supporting you. They're really sending you this. They're really saying, look, it is safe to relax now. You can come away from this situation. Yes, there's a need to... you can't just pretend it didn't happen. But they're also saying, you know, try not to look back over it in a critical manner. You didn't do anything wrong, you know. You need to step away and you need to recover. You know, whatever took place, you need to recover. And they love you. You know, your spirit team love you. They're literally sending you love. They're pouring love down to you. They're asking you to nurture yourself, and, you know, this card talks about nurturing something. I also feel as though with this Three of Water card here, you know, if we think of water, the threes are very much about often either a celebration or a turning point. You know, in a way, we would expect the three, this is like the Three of Cups in the standard tarot pack. We would expect the Three of Cups to be a celebration and to be about the beginning of something, or a new phase of something, even the birth of a child, or an engagement or something. But there's something about you looking back here with some regret about something. Okay, it isn't, I don't think it is time for you to take action right now. Okay, and the action isn't about direct action. The action is about you being authentically you. I think there is a need to retreat. You know, you can't change the past, and you are safe now. There is a need for retreat. Is not running away, it's retreat as in recuperation. The clarity will then come, the clarity of direction. Interestingly enough, your spirit team are saying, and it's a very strong message here, and I think it probably, sometimes the message comes through that applies to some and not all. I think this probably applies to all of you, actually. The message is really clear. Look, you are loved. And for those of you, you know, this hurt your heart. Somebody hurt your heart, they hurt your feelings, but this is actually a new beginning. And, you know, retreat and recuperate, because the way will become very, very clear to you, and the direction is about leadership, and it's about you rebirthing into the world and you being, you know, a light in the world. It's like demonstrating through action. Strength, it says the same. It's like, be your own leader. I just have a little read of these cards here. So the card of nurture. Whenever we sow seeds, however much we yearn to see them grow, we cannot force them to develop any quicker than nature will allow, but we can provide them with the best possible conditions to grow. Whatever you have initiated in your life, this card is here to encourage you. Be patient and nurture your relationship, idea, project with love. Now, I think this is asking you to love yourself, and also for those of you that were hurt within relationship or within community or friendship group, or even if it was a career move that somebody else kind of sabotaged or put a spoke in the wheel. A spoke in the wheel? Yeah, I think that's the right saying. Or a spanner in the works. You didn't do anything wrong, and actually your dream still deserves to be nurtured. You know, you will find love. You will be yourself. You will radiate into the world. You will bring your project, your light into the world. all of this will happen for you. The clarity of direction will come. It's just that right now the action is to recover from what took place, so that when you come back into this situation, you know, sometimes nurturing just means recovery. When you come back into the world, being your authentic self, your action is to lead by example. So, you know, you don't have to do anything in terms of addressing this. It is what it is. If you tried to invest any more, I think you'd be wasting your energy, actually. It is safe to relax. You are safe now. This card says you've been through a major ordeal and you've been amazing. You've handled it all. I'm really feeling emotional about this with you guys reading number 2. You know, you've been amazing and you've handled it all. You know, but as a consequence, you've learned to live on high alert, and this needs to change. Your mind needs peace and your body needs to repair and relax. This card brings a message. You are safe now. It is okay to relax. Okay, very clear. You know, be at home, nurture yourself. The timing for you is just right for you to step away and take time out, look after yourself. You're going to step back up. Strength gives you, strength says things are emerging in your world, things are happening, they are going to move forwards. The birth card, this is, you're going to be reborn, birth yourself, your project, your idea. It's going to shine, it's going to come through. The very nature of you through your recovery will make a difference in the world. But right now you need to recover. Leadership, we all lead by example. Our words and our actions presenting a role model to everyone that we come into contact with. This card asks you to take an ownership of your personal leadership qualities and to align your thoughts, words and actions with everything that you wish to see in the world. Ironically enough, this is a circumstance that has, in many ways, or will in fact, once you recover, cause you to step back into the world with so much more integrity. So actually, you will make a really significant contribution to many people's lives just by being you. And you have been amazing. Now, I'm going to draw some cards from another tarot pack to ask your spirit team for more information. Do you know, I just feel like they are sending you so much love and so much support and so much encouragement. Your first card coming out there. Second. Let's have a look and see what we have. We have the Tower. We have the Three of Swords. We have the Knight of Discs. We have the Ten of Wands, the Chariot. You're going to leave this behind you. Okay. This is cool, reading number 2. This is really cool. Okay. So this is super good. You know, this stuff has really weighed heavy on you. You know, the Ten of Wands, it's like a card that says, you know, it's a card of burden. This has really weighed heavy on you. But you know, the spirit, the advice from your spirit team is actually to step down, step away, that there is an action to take, but the action is totally about nurturing and looking after you. And then being your authentic world and moving on. This is really clear. So we have the Tower and the Ten of Wands sitting beneath it. We then have the Three of Swords with the Chariot. So we can see that this situation just had to change. It's crumbled. It had to. You couldn't have tolerated it any longer. That burden is now over. It's weighed very heavy on you. But you know, it's really time to let it go. The Three of Swords is bringing things back into balance. It's the end of a conflict. And the Chariot is saying, you know, once you let go of the burden and you actually just Take time out. I think this is actually going to shift quite quickly for you. You know, it's weighed heavy on your mind, but the rune of clarity, you know, this is beautiful. This is a clear direction. The rune of openings. It is a clarity of direction. You're going to get clear very quickly, and it's about sort of recognizing, again, looking back and thinking, you know, not, gosh, with retribution, how did I get into that situation, telling yourself off for ever having tolerated it, and also not kind of like persecuting people who were just childish and difficult. It's like letting it go and taking hold of your own direction. Everything is going to come back into balance pretty quickly here. We have the Chariot. As soon as you invest in yourself and make a clear choice and a decision, which I think you've actually already made, then actually progress will come. The openings for the new, for you to step into the world, I think will come very quickly. And then it's about steady progress forwards. So something that you, maybe this dashed your hopes, you invested in something or someone or a group of people that you thought would be really fulfilling, and it wasn't. But actually, the situation is coming back into balance in a really good way. Your decision to walk away, to look after yourself, is completely right. And I kind of feel like justice will be served. It's not your problem here. Doorways will open for you quite quickly, and once they do, then you can make steady progress, step-by-step progress back into the world, being your authentic self and shining your light in the world. You know, I'm really mindful that you know, darkness is so attracted to light, you know, like a bit like a moth to a flame, and sometimes people are drawn to you because you shine, and then, you know, that gets damaged, and actually you need to come back up. Your spirit team are really proud of you because you've risen from, it's like you, almost like you're a phoenix rising from the ashes. You have risen from some significant challenges. It's really time to leave them behind. It's really time to put the past behind you. The Six of Swords, I always feel this card is so clear. It's like, do you know what? That's over. It's totally over. There's a new horizon for you. It is absolutely over. It's time for you to leave this behind. But it's really interesting. I'm just, sometimes in my readings, I'll do some energy shifting, and I'm just going to move things around a tiny bit here because it feels appropriate to do so. So sit with this reading number 2. Just see what this is feeling like in your body. Okay. Now I'm going to move these over here for a moment, just out of sight for a second. I'm going to take this because this is to be left behind. Your action is to nurture yourself. I actually have some angels here. I'm going to bring in a green aventurine angel. Beautiful energy. Green aventurine is a nurturer. When you sit with green aventurine, it's like your spirit team have just wrapped a blanket of support and love around you. And this creates a massive shift in energy. So this is behind you now. You know, this is where this sits. It doesn't sit here in your reading, it sits here. Okay, you are to be nurtured. Okay, beautiful energy of nurture. And what will come is the doorways the doorways will open for you as that is put down. Clarity of direction. Windows will open for you. You know, you are surrounded in love. In fact, that's what I'm putting here. And that clarity of direction will come for you. Steady progress when you re-enter the world. Try things on for size if needs be. You know, if that was a group, that was a group of people or a community of people that didn't treat you well. Steady progress. Take it step by step, but be your authentic self. The rebirth will come and you are going to shine. Reading number 2. Super souls, I am so sorry that this took place because I can see, and your spirit team are really proud of you, and I feel in awe of you for rising above this situation by choosing to say, do you know what, this doesn't resonate with me, I'm not buying into it, I'm moving on, I'm walking away. Way to go. Well done, you. That is the action. The action isn't to go back into the lion's den. The action is to recover, recuperate, look after yourself. That is the action needed now. And then to move forwards with steady progress. Don't remain in a safe zone. Once you settle, you know, you could almost say once the dust has settled, move on. Be your authentic self, super souls. I mean, you know, there is so much love for you. There really is. And I truly am sending you love from the bottom of my heart. So reading number 2, I hope this has been helpful to you. Super souls, if you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, I post weekly readings on Sundays, every Sunday, for weekly guidance from your spirit team. And I post tons of spontaneous readings as well. This is one of them. The spontaneous readings are timeless readings. They're answering very specific questions, and I'm building a timeless reading playlist. So you can access that playlist and all of the readings there at any time for support, or the weekly readings for support as well. Now, the timeless readings, I'll put a link to the playlist in the information box below and in the comments for phone users. It's full of readings that answer specific questions like, is this person trustworthy? How will this pan out? You know, is this a yes or a no situation? So lots and lots of support there from your teams. And super souls, I said earlier, I give away a pack of these cards, these oracle cards, and a free private reading every month. I announce the winners after one of the Sunday readings. A colleague of mine draws the names out of a hat. It's a subscriber offer, and I have a subscriber email list. I'll put the link to that as well in the information box. And super souls, once you're on that list, you are on it forever. My colleague, as I said, draws the names out of a hat. So just check in on the Sunday readings, because that's when I announce the winners once a month. So reading number 2, I am in awe of the way in which you have handled things. The new is coming, and the doorways of opportunity are going to open very quickly for you. But right now, the action is self-care and nurture. Tons and tons of love. I mean, really, truly, reading number 2, all the love in the world. Welcome, reading number 3. You have been drawn to the Rune of Ice, the card of the 2 of Water, which is traditionally the 2 of Cups, and this beautiful lucky horseshoe. This always reminds me of confetti, which is really interesting because it's actually here. The 2 of Cups is a card of love, of falling in love. The Rune of Ice is interesting because it suggests something is maybe either at a standstill or needing to slow down. So we're asking your spirit team today, do you take action or not? Okay, so there's quite an interesting energy around this. In one way, there is luck and love, and yet there is something that's maybe saying take it slow, or something is at a standstill. So whatever your situation, super souls, let's see what your spirit team are advising. Does reading number 3 take action or not? I'll draw from an oracle pack first. This is really interesting because I'm feeling very strongly. There's a lot of cards coming out here. Okay, so we'll draw from those. I'm going to draw from the Art of Manifestation oracle pack as well. Okay, super souls, I give away a pack of these cards every month, and I will let you know about that at the end of the reading today. I want to draw from the Akashic Tarot as well. Really fascinating. That's lots of extra cards are coming through into this reading. A really interesting energy around you. Okay, so let's have a look at these first. So, Gentle Gardener is your first card. Okay, we can see here, just show you this card. So something is hatching here. Something is hatching. We have the card of Home. We have the card of Spark and Rock Bottom. This is interesting. Encouragement and Compass. Okay, Super Souls. Let's see how we're going to fit all of our cards. Okay, these cards are very, very interesting. We have New Beginnings, Independence, and Ground Yourself. Okay. Can I leave those just there for one moment? We have the Sands of Time, the King of Keys, and Caught in the Ruins. Lovely that it's in reverse, I want to say. Okay, let me see if I can move some cards around and we have a little bit more space here. To work out quite how best to place these. I'm going to put these over here, I think, and put these here. This is really interesting, the Six of Scrolls, because, okay, we'll use these in just a moment and we'll draw some more tarot cards for you too. Now, the reason this card is so interesting is because we're asking a very specific question here. Do you take action or not? We're asking your spirit team for guidance and advice. Do you take action in your situation or not? Now, this is really interesting because the Six of Scrolls is a card that says actually timing is a matter of urgency. Okay? So actually, it is as if action does need to happen. Action needs to take place. The King of Keys, marching forwards, encouragement, compass. This row of cards is fascinating. And I feel like it's giving us a very clear message in response to the top row here. So I'll talk about this in a moment. But let's just look at this bottom row of cards here. Caught in the Ruins is in reverse, which means that you have the ability to climb out of a situation that you're in, kind of if you choose to do so. You're not... If it was in an upright position, it would be like you were kind of trapped or in a situation where something was not okay, where maybe you were karmically stuck in some way, shape or form. In reverse, it's kind of like, it's like a card that says, right, you can just climb out of this. The door is not locked. You can actually walk away from this if you want to. The Six of Scrolls says that actually action is needed, kind of almost as a matter of urgency. You need to do something here. And the King of Keys is marching forwards. We have the card of encouragement and we have the compass, the almost, I want to say, the moral compass. It's like following your north. Now this is really interesting because it's sitting underneath the Rock Bottom card. Something has happened which has meant that something in your world is actually feeling stuck. Okay. Now, whether this is a relationship where something is feeling stuck, or it's actually a project or a creative project or an endeavor or an idea that you've had, a spark of an idea. It's been moving along quite slowly. And I think you guys, there's something about this project, relationship, whatever your personal circumstance. I feel like you're beginning to, even though you love it and you know you want it with a passion, and you've been nurturing it for a while now, it's almost as if stuff has interrupted that's caused it to stand still. And what's really interesting now is that the stuff is now getting in the way of, that's not quite right. What do I want to say? So the stuff, there was stuff getting in the way. There've been hiccups, delays, intrusions, just stuff that you've had to deal with, okay? Quite often centered around home and family, I think. So you've been trying to nurture this along in the background, whatever this is. It's something you feel really deeply about. It's like a dream. It's, you know, it's something you really, really want. You've been nurturing it along, but stuff keeps coming up and stopping your momentum. And what's happened is that stopping of momentum is almost now getting a little bit set in, okay? And it's almost as though, because stuff, you've got so accustomed to stuff getting in the way, it's almost as though you're losing your self-belief, or you're thinking, you know, somebody else will write that book, or that person will meet someone else, or I'll never do, it's never going to happen. You've got into a bit of a mindset, the rock bottom mindset, where you feel like it's going nowhere. I mean, these cards go together, really. You know, it's like you've ended up feeling boxed in. Okay, you feel like this isn't going to happen for me. When is this going to happen? It isn't happening. It's not going to happen. You know, it's like, yeah, the constant interruptions have literally taken their toll. Put that the right way up just so you can see it. But this is an illusion. Okay. Yes, stuff has happened that's cornered you in, but you can climb out of this. It's in reverse. There's no key to this door. You're not locked in. You can move away. And luck is on your side. Okay? Luck is on your side. Now, there is a sense of urgency, the timing. Yes, you do need to take this forward one step at a time. You need to gently nurture this into being. And yeah, you know, I said this whenever the card of home arrives, there's a clock here. The timing is right. I feel there's been interruptions at home and you've needed to recover, rest, recuperate, but you're also needing to do this too, okay? So your spirit team are saying, look, you do need to take action. Part of the action is moving away from this mindset where you feel like you are trapped by things. And because of that, it's almost like it's locked you down. It's like going into a personal lockdown around something and thinking it's never going to happen. Actually, you are being called to take action here. You're being given encouragement, the spark, the idea, there's something that you really desire, have dreamed of, that you love doing. Something that is now, it's almost now procrastination has set in, and there's a mindset around, I don't have the time to do it. As opposed to the realness of, I don't have the time to do it. Reading number 3, that it's really quite clear here. Follow your moral compass. You're being encouraged to follow that spark, to take action, to move this forwards. Now, really, really interesting. We have these cards here. We have new beginnings, we have independence, and ground yourself. Now, the card ground yourself, first of all, says, this card is a request to you to literally ground yourself. Go outdoors, take off your shoes, and find somewhere where it is safe to stand barefoot. Imagine roots growing out of your feet, traveling down into the soil beneath you, anchoring you with the nurturing energy of the earth. The gentle gardener card. It's like, get yourself still and anchored, because although there is still stuff going on around you, I think, periphery stuff, it's not as big as it was. That's what I'm being shown. It's not as big as it was. There was a time when you were hemmed in by stuff. You're not anymore. And now it's about shifting the mindset that makes you feel like you're hemmed in. Get grounded. Independence. Independence is a wonderful attribute, but if taken to an extreme, it can border on isolation. Sometimes if we've been hurt or let down or trapped in a codependent relationship, we lose faith in others and learn only to rely on ourselves. This card calls you to question this inner belief and to develop healthy, interdependent relationships with an equality of both giving and receiving. Real clarity coming through here as well regarding the King of Keys. I'm going to speak about that in just a minute. Let's just finish these cards first. We then have the card of New Beginnings. This indicates that you are about to begin a new chapter in your life. Shed, release and cleanse. Let go of any obstacles, inner and outer, that prevent you from engaging fully and moving forwards. The time is right for a fresh start and a new beginning. The universe supports you in your growth. Whatever your circumstances, reading number 3, it is time to take action and move yourself away from any aspect of a mindset that says you can't have it, or it won't happen, or you can't do it. Because this is really the opposite. The King of Keys, let's tune in with this card, because sometimes the King of Keys is someone who comes into our life to help with something. You know, if your creative idea was a book or something, then this is kind of like an agent or a publisher or someone who can help you career-wise. It doesn't necessarily indicate a love connection. But I feel this reading is about the spark, the idea of a dream that you want to bring forth, that you've begun to lose sight of or feel bogged down in. Now, I genuinely think your circumstances were restricting, but it's now time to not only take action and move it forwards, but to reach out for help and allow yourself to receive help as well. You know, the Rune of Ice sometimes asks us to slow down, but it also sometimes says, look, you know, if something is stuck, to get the ice to thaw, we need to journey within and remove any inner obstacles to our progress. So there's something going on here around that procrastination. So reading number 3, we're going to draw from a tarot pack now and just ask if there is additional guidance for you about how to take action to move something forwards here. You are being asked to take action. It's really interesting, very, very clear guidance in these readings. Your spirit team are saying, no, it's definitely, the timing is right. You need to climb out of this hole, move yourself forwards, let go of any limiting beliefs. Here, okay, so we're asking for more guidance. Reach out and ask for help. We're asking for more guidance for reading number 3. Is there any information about how they can specifically move their circumstances forwards, help them shift away from either procrastination or a mindset that is holding them back? What do we have here? Okay, 9 of Swords. This is really interesting. 9 of Swords, 5 of Wands. Yay, this is a card of victory. Okay. Okay, so 9 of Swords. Then we have the card of gratitude. 8 of Swords is in reverse. I don't always read cards in reverse, but I'm going to keep that one as it is, actually. Let me move these up a little bit. Move those. Bear with me while I'm going to press the pause button and arrange our cards. Okay, Super Souls, so that's great. I'm going to hold these 2 cards back for just a minute. You have the 9 of Swords. This is like you're juggling a lot of things. I can see that. You've been juggling an awful lot of things. You've been facing a lot of things. But the card of victory is here. Okay, so we're moving away from this. Now, this is really, really interesting because this is a card of victory. The idea, the spark, the thing that you have wanted to bring forth, the thing that really, really matters to you, the thing that makes your heart sing, the timing is right to move it forwards now. It really, really is. The ice, we're going to shift this to the horizontal position. So just sit with me for a moment. I did a little bit of energy shifting in the previous reading. I'm going to do the same here. So we'll dive into the cards more in just a second, reading number 3, but sit with what this feels like. Okay. Just sit with what this feels like. Notice in your body, because we're going to shift this rune of ice. So we know you've had a ton of stuff to deal with, but actually you're coming through and out the other side of this. You've succeeded. You've kind of juggled it all. It's now time to sit in a space of gratitude for the learning, for everything that you have, for everything that you've manifested. You actually have a lot around you of substance. Okay, and it's really important that you see clearly what you have and stop holding yourself back. So we have this rune of ice. Look within and remove any obstacles within you, any inner limiting beliefs that say you can't have. And the key here that your spirit team is saying is, look at all that you do have. You have so much here. You have achieved so much in your life. You've juggled so many things and you've achieved them. So there is no reason for you to have any self-doubt. You know, this block does not need to be here. There is no lock on this doorway in Caught in the Ruins. It's in reverse. So I'm going to place the rune, shift this rune and the energy of this rune into the horizontal flowing position. It's time to evaluate and see clearly what you have, how much you've achieved. If you look at what you have achieved and the way that you have navigated all of these things that were going on, you will see very clearly how incredibly capable you are. So this is like a judgment call, really. Your team are saying, come on, you know, it's time to shift and move this forwards. It's time to believe in yourself. Stop judging yourself. Stop feeling like there's a can't do attitude here. You know, we are rooting for you. Luck is with you. We want you to succeed. You know, whatever this dream is, it's time to let go of any limiting beliefs, whether it is a career thing, a calling thing, whatever it is for you, whether it's relationship, any aspect of this, let it go. Luck is on your side. I'm going to place this here, right in the middle of your compass, following your North Star. And then we have the moon, beautiful energy of moving forwards, a reflection, and the card of Temperance, of re-finding balance. There is opportunity right now to bring your life back into balance. I want to say, look, stuff is still going to happen. Okay, the moon is really telling us this, because with the moon, there's kind of things going on in our lives that are quite deeply emotional, really. But actually, the deeply emotional stuff is fueling your growth. It's making you the person you are. It doesn't mean that you put aside every time you feel emotional about something and you've juggled a lot. It doesn't mean you should let those emotions hold you back. And Temperance is all about bringing things back into balance. It's time to bring yourself back into balance, to look at how amazing you are and climb out of that sort of mental cycle where you feel like it won't happen, or you're digging yourself a hole, or feeling like you're cornered. I think you have been cornered by circumstances. There was so much going on, but you've achieved that, you've done that. So, and yes, you need to balance things. You need to still take time out to look after yourself, take time out to recover, but you need to equally give yourself encouragement and fuel yourself into the creative process of manifestation, following your North Star, following your heart. Okay? You know, this, it's so easy, isn't it, when things happen one after another, after another, after another, we get tired. And we feel like we just don't have the energy to move something forwards. But actually, this is a time to shift that energy, get yourself back into balance. You can still take time out when you need it, but take time out in gratitude for what you have achieved, rather than in, oh, I'm so exhausted. You know, that mindset is so different. You know, our attitude, our perspective can completely change the emotional content of a situation. And I write a lot about emotions. I worked, for those of you that are new to me and to the Moon Magic Tarot channel, you know, I worked as an accredited therapist, a counsellor for over 28 years. So I work a lot with emotions. Emotions can be your very best friend or your absolute worst enemy, you know, and it's the emotional content of stuff that lingers. You know, it's the emotional scars that remain after difficult times. Emotions are really key to our mindset. I wrote a book called Mindfulness Meets Emotional Awareness because certain emotions actually trigger specific thinking patterns, and then those specific thinking patterns trigger even more of the same emotions, and we can get into a real downward spiral. So, you know, guys, I actually have a totally free library. It's called the A to Z of Emotional Health. I'll put a link in the information box and the comments for you guys. It's completely free. It's a free resource. It will always be free. And it's just full of stuff to help you understand your emotions as a source of empowerment. Truly, it's one of the biggest aids in manifestation is learning to use your emotions as a friend and an asset rather than a sort of an enemy from within, because they really can be if we can't navigate them well. So you've achieved just so much and you've had a ton of stuff to deal with. It's now time to bring your life into balance. Yes, you still need to rest up, but rest up in a space of gratitude for all that you've achieved. Because if you look at yourself and you stop and you think, oh, I'm exhausted, I just can't keep going, and you've got that kind of stuff going on, it will bring into your world, it will literally create more challenging emotions. But if you stop and you think, wow, encouragement, wow, I can't believe I juggled all that and I did it. You know, you're going to be feeling good about where you are, and it's like, do you know, I am so tired, I cannot believe I've achieved all that, I've got to where I am, this is amazing. It's going to lift you, whereas, oh, I just can't, you know, I can't believe I've had to deal with all of that. It brings you down, and literally just changing that mindset, that shifting will change the emotions that you generate. So really interesting stuff going on here in your world, reading number 3. But you have something really important that you really want and you really desire, and your spirit team are saying, come on, we're rooting for you. It's now time to bring things back into balance. Yes, look after yourself, of course. Absolutely right. But please also invest in your idea, the thing that you desire the most, because the timing is actually really right for you. Really, it really is. The timing is of the essence. There's something very important about what you're doing, and the timing is really perfect for it. So you're being encouraged to really, yes, step out of that not okay place and into a place of refound enthusiasm, balance, hope. And yes, you will feel tired as you step there, but honor your victories. Honor the work you've done, sit in a space of gratitude, and everything will start to shift forwards. I mean, you know, we have this absolute, literally, this lucky charm here that just confirms that everything that you shift forwards will move and take place and start to emerge. So, Super You, and of course, the card of new beginnings. Super Yous, reading number 3, I'm just sending you the biggest hug. I find myself so in awe when I do these readings, because I can see how much you've juggled. I can see how much you've had to handle and how many interruptions have come along in your world that have just, you know, been, for some, just a constant row of irritations, and for others, you know, quite a significant number of hurdles to climb over. You know, way to go. You know, you've done it. I mean, you know, you guys are amazing. And it's now time to own that amazingness and start to really invest steady, solid progress and reach out and ask for help, and it will be forthcoming. So, Super Souls, I'm just sending you all the love in the world. If you'd like to get notification of any of these spontaneous readings that I do, I post readings every Sunday as well, with weekly guidance from Spirit. And these are spontaneous readings. I'm putting them in a timeless readings playlist, which is full of readings that answer very specific questions, like, how is this going to pan out? Is this a yes or a no? You know, all sorts of stuff. Everyday questions that we want advice and guidance for numerously at any kind of time. So do check out that playlist. If you want to get notification of any of my readings, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, they should come into your stream. And I also give away a pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards that we use, the Ground Yourself, Independence and the New Beginnings. I give a pack of those away every month, and a free private reading. So if you would like to be in my subscriber prize draw, I have a subscriber email list, and I'll put the link in the information too. Once you're on that email list, you are on it forever, and my colleague draws the names out of a hat, and then I announce them after one of the Sunday readings. So Super Souls, I just am sending you all the love in the world, all the encouragement in the world. Follow your heart, because there is something here that is really in alignment with some aspect of your calling and your destiny, and you do need to take action now. Tons and tons of love to you.